Bob built this place with his own two hands. Good job.
Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder. Look at what he did. That big old fireplace. I don't know how you did it, man.
Hey, I'm not a lot around power tools.
Here's some keys for you. Thank you. You too. And here we go, on our way back. 2 days left to travel to get home, as we are in Russellville, I think it was, or Russell, Arkansas. We are on our way from Troy, Alabama to Tampa, Florida, on our last day of this wonderful adventure. Kind of reminiscing about the trip and the great parts and the opportunities to see parts of our country that were just fascinating, from Montana, Wyoming, Utah, out to Washington. Well, I think we dipped into Washington for a moment, and then out to Portland, Oregon, down the 101, California 1, San Francisco, and our way back. If you haven't done a trip like this, I encourage you to seek out some friends to do this with. If you haven't met people, how do you find people like this? Well, we met all through an Indian motorcycle riders group. Each brand, of course, has a riders group or owners group of some kind. You'll put in the work. You'll find people that want to do the things you want to do. But getting out with your buddies or your family to do a motorcycle adventure is well worth your time and effort. You're going to see things and experience things you never otherwise could. It's not the same in the car. It's wonderful. There's great things to do in a car, but I will tell you, being out in the weather, smelling the smells, feeling the temperatures, being wet, being hot, being cold, just nothing like it. You don't know what you're going to see around the next corner. So get out there, meet some people, take the adventure. We will be planning our next adventure, of course, after this. Excited to do that. I think next summer it's a possibility that my wife Emmy and I will take an adventure ourselves. So, a couple things. Everybody sets up their bike and their luggage in their own way, but if you have any questions, feel free to message me in the comments and I'll be happy to give you my thoughts. Each of the three of us do some things very similarly and some things quite differently. Air hawk for your bottom end is a very important thing. I don't care how great of a seat you have. I ride a Corbin, but after the second day, my rear end needs some relief, and that Air Hawk for me and for Ted and for Tom really does the trick. Just a little puff of air in there, and it's a little bit cooler, and things move around a little bit so that so you can find a comfortable position after 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 hours on the bike. So that's my probably number one recommendation. you know, I've got my phone mounted on my handlebars and it's charging. That's very, very helpful. I run the cameras, of course, so I've got one on my helmet and of course my Insta360 on the handlebars. Insta is a little more work to edit, but captures everything around me, and I enjoy the ability to show you some things that otherwise I wouldn't be able to show with first person. I noticed there's a little red string on my mount. There's also one on my GoPro on my helmet. A little paranoid after losing one Insta360 in the Alaska trip. Broke the stem on the mount, and so now I have a rescue cord on each piece of equipment, so if there's a tragic failure, I still got the equipment. The value of the disc inside the camera is even more valuable than the camera itself, although I don't want to lose a $500 camera. That disc is not replaceable. What else can I tell you? Oh, hydration. Yeah, you'll notice I got a cup on my dash here, and I try to drink 16 ounces at every stop. Dehydration is the #1 danger that I've experienced and seen others experience on a motorcycle. So stay hydrated. Take electrolytes. Pedialyte or one of the other sports drinks that's got some electrolytes in it, because water alone will not do it. So hydration. I did buy a new helmet this year. I've got the Shoei Neotech 3, just came out. I'm very pleased. Some of the reasons were I couldn't drink, were very difficult to drink while riding in my Shoei RF 1400, or I think it was RF 1400. Very difficult to drink from that because you just couldn't get into anything between my chin and the chin mount. I was able to sometimes use a water pack, but it was difficult. With this, I can lift the visor, take a drink whenever I need to, but it does have the disadvantage of mounting the Sena and the camera, but it really wasn't as difficult as you might imagine. It worked fine, and I do get a visor, a sun visor. I wear sunglasses, but sometimes when you're going east into the sun or west into the sun at sunset, it can overwhelm sunglasses, so having the extra shade to drop down is very handy. So that's about that. Oh yeah, there's another little thing. In this year I personally had experienced something called Raynaud's syndrome, and I thought that was the end of my motorcycle riding. Feel free to look it up, and basically your body thinks that it's colder than it is, and so it starts shutting down circulation to your extremities. For me, it was my fingers, and it's pretty dramatic to the point you can't feel the clutch lever. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, we're back, shaved, clean.
Sunburn's gone.
Sunburn's gone.
Sunburned, all this even color.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about what kind of weather did you have on the trip?
Hot.
I actually really like the
We had weather from the low 50s up to 119, I believe, was
Yeah.
the hottest I saw.
Yeah, Death Valley was hot.
Yeah.
Las Vegas was
Hotter.
hotter. How did we cope with that? How did you find, Tom, you dealt with the hot and cold?
Drink a lot of electrolytes, long sleeve shirts, and I didn't use enough suntan lotion on my face, but it's all healed up now.
Yeah. How about you?
Those things, plus on my bandana, I would wet it, and that would help just on the cooling a little bit. Extra stops was helpful because we just, no matter how quick you go on the bike, it doesn't cool down, it gets just hotter. So that was my experience. Just drink a lot, Take your time, take some breaks, be aware of how you feel.
Yeah, for sure. Keep a track of your buddies too.
Yeah.
You never know when somebody, because they won't realize that they're getting too much heat. So keep an eye on everybody. And I find I use a base layer. I find a base layer, a wool base layer, makes a difference in the heat and makes a difference in the cold. So layers, proper gear, hydration, like Tom said, is really important. So yeah, it's all beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
I'd do it again. I would love it.
Do the same route again.
Yeah. What's coming up? Any other trips?
Well, first we're going to do the Jack Daniels run, the national run,
In October.
Looking forward for that. That'd be a nice ride. I think it's in Chattanooga.
to Jack Daniels to Lynchburg.
Yeah. The Indian Motorcycle Group gets together up there, sponsored by the National IMRG. Good opportunity. Hopefully they've got some new bikes coming out. They'll show them. Sorry for the sound, but they'll be doing that. Emmy and I are going up to North Carolina in October, and then we're planning our trip for next summer. So we're excited about that.
It'd be a nice trip.
Yeah. I can't wait. So until next time, thanks for joining us, guys.
Pleasure as always.
It has been a great time. Thank you so much.